When I first saw the MM720 gaming mouse from Cooler Master, I immediately just thought this mouse is not for me. Preferably, I like ergo mice, and to be honest with you, I'm just kind of over the honeycomb shell. But once I got my hands on this thing and I started using it, it literally blew my mind. This is an incredible mouse. So let's talk about why this is my new main for gaming, and we'll discuss whether or not I think you should pick this up. Let's get it! Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to do an unboxing of the MM720 mouse from Cooler Master. Picked this thing up just because the unique design. I know it's a throwback of a design from about 5 or 6 years ago. It's just unique for this time right now, but also it incorporates that lightweight body style, the honeycomb. And just real quick to touch on the packaging. First off, the packaging for this thing is so small, and I really appreciate that. Like, I really appreciate the Cooler Master, you know, actually use light packaging there to really kind of just decrease waste, and I just really appreciate that. So it's 49 grams, 16K DPI, 70 million clicks, and IP58 dust and water protection. So that's always good, I guess. There's a bunch of stuff on the back too. It's a really small print, you know, pretty small box and everything like that. But you know, I'm not here to look at the print on the back. I'm here to get this mouse out of the box. So let's do that right now. Let's see. All right. Let's get this bad boy cracked open. And let's see what all we have. Oh, we got a lot of stuff in this box here. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's way more than I've seen in a Cooler Master box to date. So that's pretty cool. It looks like already extra PTFE feet right here, which is incredible. I'm really glad they included that. I don't know if any other mouse have ever come with PTFE. Like the other mouse that I did the review on, it did not come with these. It actually can't have with like Teflon feet, and it was kind of weird. And then of course the booklet right here, you know, all the fun information in there about how to set it up. Let's see, we got some grip pads right here with an alcohol prep pad, but we got some grip pads here, so just in case if you need to add some extra grip to the mouse, so that's pretty cool. And we'll remove this extra packaging that was inside of there, a little protection packaging there. And let's get to the mouse itself. Here it is, the Cooler Master MM720 mouse. This thing, man, I really like it already. The matte finish on it is definitely light. I love the huge feet they put on there. Like these big feet they put on there. So good. And of course the included foot around the sensor is definitely nice. Let's feel the click. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it already feels nice. The click, it feels good. The grip right there, so good. I cannot wait to get this thing hooked up. Cable feels pretty good. It definitely feels like it's probably going to be a nice lightweight cable with Cooler Master branding on the USB part right there. So highly appreciate that. Yeah, I love the shape of this mouse, the feel of this mouse already. I'm ready to get it hooked up, plugged in, and try it out. So if you aren't aware of the MM720 mouse, it's a design that's based on a older style from the early 2000s of their Hornet mouse. Which was a pretty well-loved one in the gaming community. And obviously they brought it back, you know, with a more modern honeycomb-style design to make it ultra lightweight, added RGB to it, and yeah, it's impressive. So let's get into the pros of this thing. First off is the shape. You know, when I first picked up this thing, I honestly thought that the shape would actually be a con, but man, was I wrong. When you first grab a hold of this thing, especially if you're like me, if you're used to using ergo mice and you're used to having a more robust, larger size mouse in your hands, you hold this thing in your hands and immediately it feels awkward, it feels weird, your palm is dragging, it just feels strange. Unless if you hover your hand like this, it just feels awkward at first. But then after about 10 to 15 minutes of gaming, especially like a FPS game like Apex Legends or Escape from Tarkov, you immediately forget about it. Your hand locks into place with that crazy finger groove, the shape and design of it, it just feels so good in your hands. It instantly becomes like an extension of your hands. You forget that it's even there, and it is weird. Like I said, I did not expect to have this kind of response to this mouse, but it actually felt legitimately great. Then of course the weight of this thing coming in at 49 grams, you know, and I was worried that maybe that might be too light of a weight, but you know, and I did have to kind of adjust my sensitivity a bit more than what I'm used to. But you know, like I said, after you play with it for a little bit, you get used to that lighter weight. You get used to having your sensitivity a little bit different. I kept my DPI the same, around 500. And dude, I was hitting shots, no problem. I was hitting headshots, melting people, lasering people. It was not an issue with this mouse, and it was actually easier, and especially flick shots with shotguns, they land with precision because you can stop on a dime without a doubt, and it was just so nice. And to go along with that weight, the PTFE feet that are included, which, you know, as you see on the bottom here, it's got just full-size pads across there, really covers almost the entire surface area of the bottom, which is a huge plus, and I don't know why more brands don't do this. Let's take a look at this glorious mouse right here, which you can see on the bottom of it, it only has 4 tiny feet for how much surface area there are. This mouse, they killed it with the feet, and they use PTFE, and you get extras in the box. They feel great. These are great feeling feet. And yeah, I'm so impressed, and I'm just using a standard cloth mouse pad. It's nothing special, and man, these feel great. They glide so smooth. I really fell in love with this. The RGB on this is absolutely perfect as well. It's extremely well diffused. You just have it on the back side right there, kind of illuminating that Cooler Master logo, and then inside the body, the way they kind of molded that white plastic around it, it really just kind of adds like this ominous glow to it. And then the scroll wheel as well has just a really good, I mean, the whole thing just glows, and it just looks good. It's easy to match any aesthetic, and I highly appreciate that. The more minimum you can make the RGB, the better, in my opinion, especially as we're kind of moving a little further away from the need of explosions of RGB everywhere, so I really, really appreciated that. The cable on this thing was nice and light. You don't feel it's there. I didn't feel any need to have like a cable bungee or anything like that. It just vanishes completely. You know, along with that, you know, the mouse being so light, it all just kind of adds together for a really good package. You know, I wouldn't have minded to maybe see it have kind of like a bit of a curve where it enters the body, kind of stick up a bit. But nonetheless, like I said, this thing is so light anyways that the cable is just like almost non-existent. It almost feels like it's a wireless mouse, and I highly appreciate that. It felt great. And then of course the switches and the scroll wheel on this thing, the switches are so tactile and so good. Like, you feel the response, and they are very fast, they're very responsive. I had zero issues. It doesn't feel muddy, it doesn't feel squishy or anything like that. They really do push in just right, and I was very pleased with that. The scroll wheel has a good tactile humps as you're moving it up and down. There's no issues there. When you click it in, it feels good. And then of course the forward and back buttons, they also feel great on there. They all just have a really good push to it. Now, before we get into the cons, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at these switches a little bit further. I'll let you hear how they sound through a sound test. Now for the cons, I really only have 2 of them to hit on for this thing, and the first one is the DPI placement. I would have much rather seen, since it has a DPI button anyways, I would have rather just seen that on top, so it would give me an extra button, an extra macro to set for games, because I love using my DPI button as just a quick and easy reload. You know, that's not the end of the world, but I would love to see maybe on a future iteration they put that DPI button on top instead of leaving it on bottom like it is, because I mean, on bottom, it's kind of useless. I am not somebody that switches DPI frequently. I usually just set it and forget it at 500, so yeah, that is a bit of a miss right there for me. And then of course, you know, the honeycomb shell. I know a lot of people don't mind the honeycomb shell, and for the most part, I don't hate honeycomb shells. I'm just kind of getting over them here. And here in 2021, and you know, as we're seeing more lightweight mice come out that are solid body, I just kind of wish that maybe we could get this without the honeycomb shell. You know, it is not the worst honeycomb shell I've seen, and it's really not too bad at picking up dust. Like, I haven't noticed a lot of dust or dog hair getting inside of it, but nonetheless, you know, it's probably going to happen over time, so I wouldn't mind seeing a future iteration that didn't have the honeycomb shell. So with extremely solid construction and just a beautiful, easy to use lightweight mouse, I think this thing is the top performer, my favorite first-person shooter mouse to date right now. Now, especially when you're looking at a market full of so many overpriced options, you have Glorious coming through with $50 options, and you have this coming through as well. I think this is just curbing the market when you could see that there are great options for an extremely affordable price that are actually high quality, great builds. It's impressive, and you know, this one right here, I had kind of medium expectations for, but they blew them out of the water completely because this mouse is really good. Now, here's the thing though. Is this mouse for everybody? I'm gonna say no. And the biggest thing is, you know, it's the shape of this mouse. And especially if you have extremely large hands, or if you have hands that are honestly just larger than mine, and I have pretty decent sized hands, if you have hands that are larger than mine, this mouse is just probably just not going to be for you because you're going to be dragging your palm a lot. It's probably just not going to be very comfortable to use because, I mean, this thing only goes to about the middle of your hand. So it is a very short, very stubby, pudgy little mouse. With the finger grooves on the side, you know, they may not line up well with your fingers. They may cause, you know, a bit of discomfort there. For me personally, you know, after using this with those finger grooves, when I go to a mouse that doesn't have finger grooves, it's an extremely hard transition to go back. So yeah, like I said, you know, this may not be for everybody, especially depending on your hand shape and your grip style. But for me, you know, I had zero issues. It felt just right. I didn't even have to use the grip tape that came along with it. You know, it feels perfect in my hand, and I, you know, I'm able to maneuver without any issues. And especially, you know, if you're mainly like an MMO gamer, or maybe if you play MOBAs mostly, you're probably not going to find much benefit in this mouse. You know, with the lack of DPI button on the top, lack of other, you know, multiple buttons to add along with it, and just the overall shape and size, it's probably just not going to be something that really benefits you in any way to play those type of games. But if you're a first-person shooter main or something like that, guys, I think this mouse is perfect. So yeah, guys, that's my review of the Cooler Master MM720 lightweight gaming mouse. Let me know how you feel about this thing. Does this shape appeal to you, or does it turn you off? And also, guys, let me know down in the comments what kind of mouse you're using. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you don't mind. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord if you want, guys. And until next time, stay swole. Peace.